Just a little fact, if you get shot in the ear, it's the bloodiest place. It bleeds more than anything else.
Oh, wow.
Now, it's good to be shot this way, not that way.
Yeah.
That was then-candidate Trump last October on the Flagrant podcast, which has usually been a home for conservatives. But just recently, Pete Buttigieg made headlines for his appearance on the show. Let's listen.
Doge was actually about government efficiency, I'd be all for it.
But it's not about that.
No.
What is it about?
It's about power.
Public parks is another version of this and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's like you can't privatize the public park.
Right. This is the whole idea of public goods, right?
Sure.
This is why we have governments, why we collect taxes.
God, we're turning into such libs already, dude.
Let's bring in Peter Hamby. He's a partner at Puck News and a host of Snapchat's Good Luck America. And Peter, you wrote a great article about the Democratic obsession, fascination with jealousy with Buttigieg's appearance on this podcast. And the case that you basically seem to be making was that Democrats mostly have ignored the manosphere at their peril, and that there's a whole audience out there that is not hearing what they stand for, and that the manosphere is not monolithic. It's not all Andrew Tate and Charlie Kirk, that there are spaces where Democrats can make inroads.
I think you summed it up perfectly, Nancy. I'll just hop off now. That's exactly right. First of all, the backdrop of this, as we've discussed a lot since the election, Donald Trump won young men by 14 points. That was a huge swing from Joe Biden just 4 years earlier. And increasingly, and it's not just young men, a lot of Americans under the age of 40 are getting information, news from podcasts, digital media, et cetera. And this isn't a new thing either. This was happening 5-10 years ago. Andrew Yang and Bernie Sanders went on Joe Rogan back in 2019 when they were running for the Democratic nomination. So Pete is another person who went into podcast territory back then, partly because he was a nobody. We all remember that. And his brilliance with remembering facts and figures, it just works for him. He's very smart. He's very good. He's very conversational. And this piece wasn't meant to be, Democrats should all bow down to Pete Buttigieg. But what it did crystallize to me watching that Flagrant appearance, which has more views, by the way, than Flagrant's interviews with Jelly Roll and Lil Yachty and very famous people, is that there's not a lot of other Democrats who can kind of pull this off. Right. And Pete is just kind of fearless when it comes to this because that's how he came up campaigning in politics. But I think Democrats have to figure this stuff out because, like it or not, a lot of these podcast hosts, they're just a bunch of guys hanging out. Sometimes they're talking about sports, movies. Sometimes they're talking about politics. Trump was willing to go into those spaces and just hang out and be ready for whatever's coming. That runs very contrary to most politicians and how they think about approaching the media.
The other unique thing about Pete is that he spent years going on other right-leaning shows, going on Fox News, and kind of developing a familiarity with some of the questions he's going to be asked. He's also, frankly, a guy. And one challenging thing about the manosphere is that these guys like to have other guys on the show. So if you're a female candidate, it might be a little bit more difficult. But in general, is the case you're making that Democrats should find somewhere that they can, somewhere that they're maybe a little bit less comfortable with, basically making their argument and exposing themselves to a new audience?
Yes. I mean, it was remarkable watching this 3-hour podcast, by the way, you're welcome, where Pete Buttigieg would sort of make a reference to, for example, the Social Security claims that Elon Musk and Donald Trump were making, that millions of people were getting payments from Social Security. And he pointed out why that wasn't true. And they all kind of leaned back at one point and were like, oh. And then you look at the comment section and people are like, oh, thanks for bringing the facts. I think you raised a great point, Nancy, about the gender aspect to this. I think Kamala Harris did a wonderful job going on the NBA podcast, All the Smoke, going on Charlemagne, et cetera. But it is hard to imagine Elizabeth Warren going into one of these podcasts, or AOC could do it. She's a great communicator, but would she do it? That's an important question. How many Democrats would go in there, and then could they actually put points on the board by going onto these podcasts?
What have we seen when it comes to the bro vote since November? What are we seeing in terms of young male voters in particular and how they feel about this president?
Yeah, I mean, that's one reason I wrote this piece, because the Harvard Youth Poll came out a few days earlier. It comes out twice a year, the gold standard of youth polling. Donald Trump's approval rating in January was 62% among young men when it comes to the economy. Now it's down to like 47% of young men say Trump will hurt the economy. His approval rating among young men right now is only 34%. And a lot of that has to do just with the economy. The stock market is down. They made gains today, clawed back a bunch of what they lost since Liberation Day. Crypto is down, but coming back up. Maybe it'll change. But Donald Trump really came in with some goodwill among young men to help the cost of living, to help the stock market, crypto, whatever. And it really hasn't come to fruition. And his approval rating has really fallen off a cliff. And by the way, it was doing this before Liberation Day. So that was an early indicator that Trump's approval rating was going down, and his approval rating on the economy in particular was going down. And we've seen that's what's happened.
Well, if nothing else, this article and this podcast appearance got everybody talking about Pete Buttigieg's beard and whether they are pro or con. Peter Hamby, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nancy.